Hello and welcome to OncoDaily. Today I am joined by Dr. Karen Knudsen, the Chief Executive Officer of the Parker Institute for Cancer Immunotherapy, to talk about very exciting news coming from the Parker Institute on the collaboration with ASCO to support future leaders in cancer immunotherapy with a new grant. Thank you for joining me today, Dr. Knudsen.
So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's very exciting news in terms of cancer research funding. Can you please share the vision behind this new collaborative partnership between the Parker Institute, ASCO, Conquer Cancer, and what unmet need this grant is supposed to help? It's a $50,000 Endowed Young Investigator Award specifically designed to address what types of challenges?
Yeah. So, for us, this is very much part of our strategy to develop and accelerate access to breakthrough cancer therapies. And we know we can't do this alone. And through partnership, we know we can go faster and make sure that scientific innovation gets to people and patients as quickly as possible. And that's really what this partnership is intended to solve for. So, our thesis, our lane at the Parker Institute is to fund game-changing, ambitious science that's directed toward development of a cancer therapeutic, and then to curate that discovery along the way, helping investigators and institutes move towards something that could be patented or licensed, or in our case, also entered into the development of a new early-stage company. So we truly go through the entire pipeline. But at the end of the day, even from a discovery that's gone into clinical phase from those early stage companies, at the end of the day, there has to be a clinical investigator who wants to take on that challenge of a bold new strategy for cancer cures, which is what we are focused on. And so partnering with ASCO makes all the sense in the world. I've longstanding been an ASCO member. I consider myself part of the ASCO family and have seen firsthand just how much that organization does to advance the careers of clinical investigators and to keep them focused on the same thing we're intended to focus on as well, which is curing patients from cancer.
And in this mission, do you think early career investigators are going to have stronger input, and why is that?
We are at a moment, especially here in the United States, where clinical investigators are in short supply, and we're not training enough of them. And so ensuring that this endowed award, which was very important to us, will support an early career clinical investigator focused on cancer immunotherapy every year is really just so, really, really something that we are very proud of, and feeling like we are also starting to solve for that problem of ensuring that clinical investigators see a path toward a career that includes clinical research.
So this is a long-term commitment for an annual award. When do you expect to see some results? What would your selection criteria be for those who receive the award, for the applicants? And are there any particular scientific themes or questions that you hope to see prioritized by the applicants?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll start with the themes. We really want to be as open-minded as possible. Cancer immunotherapy is moving into that era where truly almost all cancer interventions will have a root in an immunotherapy. I mean, obviously, we're in the world of cell-based therapy and checkpoint inhibitors, but even just the way that we deliver chemotherapy through antibody drug conjugates or radiation through radioligands is changing. All of those have an immune component to them. So we would like to get the best and the brightest ideas aligned with our thesis of the things that will be game-changing. But this is also benefiting from that partnership with ASCO of having the awards committee focused on the things that we think can be the most game-changing for patients. We do expect to announce our first awardee for this annual award at the next ASCO 2026.
Oh, that's very exciting. And for future applicants, would you say that scientific research, clinical research, or bench to bedside is prioritized?
Without question, that's what we will be looking for. I think that's what ASCO looks for as well. It's another reason why we're so mission aligned. For us, we think that this is just an additional way by which we can get science that could be life-changing and curative into the hands of patients and allowing patients to have access to what could be a breakthrough therapy.
I see. And this is not only about research or researchers, as you mentioned, this is for patients to accelerate cures, but there are many organizations that are providing grants nowadays, although funding is a very sensitive topic right now worldwide. But why did Parker Institute specifically choose ASCO and Conquer Cancer to partner for this award? And what do you hope to see in the future, this collaboration to evolve to become to?
Yeah. I think for us, the choice to partner with ASCO came from the very strong mission alignment of ensuring that science gets to people and that we support early career clinical researchers. In order for us to get, as I mentioned, in order for us to get these therapeutics into patient testing, we can't do that without clinical researchers. But I also think that just the longstanding success of ASCO in gathering the individuals that will be game-changing in how it is that cancer therapeutics are developed and put into clinical trial and then become approved and standards of care. All of those, the majority of those individuals are part of that ASCO community. So it's the excellence that's part of ASCO. It's the mission alignment with the Parker Institute that ASCO provides that made it effortless. But I also have to say, having partnered, both as a cancer center director and healthcare executive, but also as the former CEO of the American Cancer Society with ASCO and formed partnerships in each of those former roles that I held, I have strong confidence that partnership with ASCO bears fruit, and that when you're like-minded of what you want to achieve and that it's about patients, you can really do much more together. And ASCO is that organization.
Thank you. And what would be your message to those who are considering a career in research for the next generation, even for those who are considering to apply for this award? What inspires you about the current work and how to stick to that and continue working on it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think what inspires me is that over the arc of my time in oncology and my career, we've seen this precipitous drop in overall cancer mortality, right? Since 1991, the cancer mortality rate in the United States, anyway, has been dropping. And when you look at that 34% decline since 1991 in overall cancer mortality rate, there was a period of time when almost all of it was associated with early detection and prevention, smoking cessation being a huge piece of that. And that's so important. And we need to continue to push on prevention and early detection. There's no question that we should not let up on those innovations in those spaces. But now we're entering what I would call a second phase, where cancer therapeutics are starting to really drive down cancer mortality. And we've seen things like multiple myeloma go from a death sentence to now many options. And these last sets of reports looking at the drop in cancer mortality associated with liver cancer, metastatic melanoma, things that are really difficult to treat cancers tell us that we are in this new era of oncology where the therapeutics are now making a major difference and that we can cure patients with more complex disease. So I think this is the right time to get into oncology research. There's no question about it. And there's a reason I'm at the Parker Institute. I believe that those cures are largely going to come from, and I think the data bear this out, immunotherapy.
Thank you for that. And to continue the topic of hope, which country or region inspires you in cancer care progress? Because there is truly much real hope in cancer research nowadays. Some even say that this is the most exciting times in cancer research.
I think that's right. And, obviously, spent the majority of my career in the United States, where and research has always been a major national priority for us. And I really hope that does not change, because I do think patients and individuals have benefited. But what also gives me hope now is how much phenomenal cancer research is coming out of areas across the globe, and we're able to connect with those areas across the globe. So I think in this next 10 years of oncology research, we are going to be able to meet that goal we've talked about for a long time of learning from every patient, where rare diseases can be solved for when we are able to get information about patients from across the globe who have rare cancers, and that learning from every patient is going to allow us to get to more cancer cures. So I see us more as a global oncology community, and that's also an advantage of ASCO, right? It truly is a global organization. So we at the Parker Institute love the idea that the best and brightest from around the world can start to become Parker Institute awardees and make game-changing discoveries that are cancer cures.
Dr. Knudsen, today is the International Day for Women in STEM. And you have a very inspiring career in leadership. There are questions that many of our viewers would be very interested in. If you don't mind, I would ask some of your take on these questions, burning questions. Sure. If oncology had a Spotify playlist, what's track number one?
Oh, gosh. What is track number one on the Spotify playlist for women in STEM? It's got to be something about us being able to do it. I mean, you really can, right?
Why don't we allude to that maybe? If you could listen to one song or artist for the rest of your life, what would it be?
If I could listen to one song or artist for the rest of my life, I like Bob Marley. I think it's a really inspiring set of music and I love the messages in his music. I love Bob Marley. So yeah.
Perfect. And do you have any hidden talents outside medicine and leadership?
I'm not sure I have so many hidden talents, but there are things I really do enjoy. I love sports. I love playing sports. I love watching sports. And that's a happy day for me is, actually being with my family out at some sporting event, whether we're playing together or watching.
Do you have a favorite sport?
Favorite sport for me to actually engage in is I grew up playing soccer, but I don't play soccer so much anymore. But I love to golf and ski and hike. Those are things that bring me a lot of joy, especially if I could do it with my husband and our two boys. They're men now. I would hate it if I called them boys. But, I love that. And when it comes to kind of watching sports, if I have to choose one, I'm going to say baseball.
Good. I grew up playing soccer too. So do you prefer coffee, tea, or something else?
Well, it depends on what time of day it is. It's before sunrise here, so it's coffee time. But later in the day, it's tea all day. I have a lot of strong feelings about tea. It should be black tea with milk, like a breakfast tea with milk. So it's what I like.
I see. And what can unite us all?
I think common purpose and kindness. That's why I'm in oncology. I think that science can make a difference, and that brings us together as a community. It's the tie that binds of most people who are at least in the oncology field. I can say for certain that you feel like you can and want to make a difference in the world. And I think that is a tie that binds, whether you're old or young or rural or urban, and irrespective where you are in the globe. If you have the mindset that you want to make life better for others, then it's a good place to be.
That's a perfect way, perfect ending message. Thank you for that. And if at any point you get to identifying that song that women in STEM should listen to, please let me know. And thank you for joining me today. Thank you for dedicating your time. I know you have a busy schedule. See you next time, or see you at ASCO when you announce the winner.
Absolutely. Yeah, excited by that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to OncoDaily on YouTube. Hit the bell icon to stay updated.